The scream echoed through the narrow Roman street as a chamber pot emptied from above. Urine splashed across marble steps where senators had walked moments before. Welcome to Rome, 150 A.D., where golden temples touched the sky. Yet human waste flowed freely through the streets, where 2 million souls fought daily to survive. The rooster-esque crow pierces the pre-dawn darkness of a Roman insula, towering apartment complex that would make modern slumlords blush. Marcus, a grain merchant, jolts awake on his thin straw mattress, shared with his wife and 3 children in their single cramped room on the 4th floor. There's no running water up here. No heat except a small brazier that fills the space with choking smoke. The walls are so thin, he can hear his neighbor's argument word for word. As pale light creeps through the single window, no glass, just wooden shutters Marcus's nose, he has perhaps 30 minutes before the city truly awakens. He splashes his face with yesterday's water from a clay jug and chews on a piece of hard bread. Breakfast for most Romans isn't the lavish feast of Hollywood imagination. It's bread dipped in wine or olive oil. Maybe some cheese if you're fortunate. The streets below are already stirring. Rome never truly sleeps. All night wagons have been rumbling through, delivering goods because wheeled traffic is banned during daylight hours to ease congestion. The noise is maddening. Ancient Romans complained about it constantly in their writings, just as we curse traffic today. Marcus descends the rickety wooden stairs carefully. These insulae are death traps. They're built cheap and tall, 5, 6, even 7 stories, and they collapse regularly, crushing families in their sleep. Fire is an even greater terror. One knocked-over lamp, and the entire wooden structure becomes an inferno. There are no fire escapes, no sprinkler systems, just panic and prayer. Outside, the street is already a sensory assault. The smell hits first. A mixture of baking bread from the thermopolia fast food restaurants, human waste in the gutters, animal dung, and the sickly sweet scent of the perfume vendor setting up his stall. Shopkeepers are pulling down their shutters, transforming their ground floor homes into businesses. A blacksmith's hammer begins its rhythmic clanging. Street vendors shout their wares. Marcus navigates carefully, avoiding the central gutter, where yesterday's filth flows toward the Tiber. Rich men are carried past in covered litters, borne on the shoulders of slaves who curse under their breath. A gang of construction slaves shuffles by, chained at the ankles, heading to work on the emperor's newest temple. Rome is beautiful and brutal, magnificent and miserable, before the sun has fully risen. While Marcus haggles over grain prices in the Forum across the Palatine Hill, Senator Gaius Aurelius awakens in a different world entirely. His Damasa private house sprawls across land that would hold 50 families in the Suburra slum. Frescoed walls depict myths and legends in vibrant colors. Mosaic floors show dolphins playing in azure seas. A fountain gurgles in the central atrium, fed by Rome's magnificent aqueduct system. Gaius doesn't dress himself. 3 slaves attend him, one to hold his toga, one to arrange the complex folds correctly, and one to style his hair and trim his beard. This seemingly simple morning ritual is actually a statement of power. The toga itself, that iconic Roman garment, is essentially 6 yards of wool, weighing 15 to 20 pounds. It's hot, restrictive, and constantly slipping. It's formal wear that screams, "I'm wealthy enough not to do manual labor." His breakfast is served on imported silver plates, fresh fruits from North Africa, honey cakes, watered wine. While he eats, a secretary reads correspondence aloud. Invitations to dinner parties. Financial reports from his estates in Gaul. A request for patronage from a struggling poet. Gaius has 38 slaves in this house alone, and hundreds more working his agricultural properties. They are his property. Completely he can beat them, sell them, kill them, with near impunity. But here's what Hollywood rarely shows. Even Gaius lives with discomforts. There's no toilet in his bedroom. uses a chamber pot emptied by slaves. His beautiful house has no chimney smoke from braziers, just vents through holes in the roof, blackening the ceilings. When he needs a bath, he'll go to the public baths, because even the wealthy don't have elaborate bathing facilities at home. And Gaius is worried. His eldest son has become obsessed with gladiator fights, spending fortunes betting on fighters. His daughter must be married off to cement a political alliance, though she's only 13. His own position depends entirely on the emperor's favor. One political miscalculation, and his family could face exile or execution. Property seized. Legacy erased. The Roman social pyramid is brutal. At the top, perhaps 600 senators and their families. Below them, the equestrian class wealthy businessmen. Then the plebeians, free-born citizens like Marcus. Then freedmen, former slaves. And at the bottom, slaves, perhaps 30% of Rome's entire population. Your birth largely determines your destiny. By mid-morning, Rome's public spaces pulse with activity. The Forum Romana, the political and commercial heart of the empire, is packed shoulder to shoulder. Hereafter securing his grain shipment, navigating through a crowd that speaks a dozen languages. Greek merchants, Egyptian priests, Germanic bodyguards, Syrian spice traders. Rome is the world's first true melting pot. Political speeches ring out from the rostra, the speaker's platform. But these aren't democratic debates. Those days died with the Republic over a century ago. Now, speakers praise the emperor with increasingly absurd flattery. Hadrian isn't just a leader, he's a god incarnate, the savior of humanity, the wisest being ever to draw breath. Refuse to participate in this charade, and you might find yourself accused of treason. Marcus stops at a thermopolium for lunch. These are everywhere ancient fast food joints built into walls, with large clay pots set into stone counters. Hot food steams in the containers. Stew, boiled eggs, vegetables, even roasted dormice for those with adventurous palates. Most Romans never cook at home. It's too dangerous in those wooden insulae, and frankly, these street vendors are cheap. For a few bronze coins. Marcus gets a bowl of pulsa-thick grain porridge that has been the staple of Rome for centuries. A cup of pasca. The vinegar wine mixture that keeps the empire hydrated. Around him, the city showcases its engineering genius and its depravity simultaneously. Aqueducts deliver hundreds of millions of gallons of fresh water daily, an achievement that would be matched for over 1,000 years. Yet public latrines are social spaces where men sit side by side on marble seats, sharing a single sponge gnostic for cleaning themselves, which they rinse in a communal channel.
Ow!
Privacy isn't a Roman value. Entertainment defines Roman life in ways that are both impressive and horrifying. The Circus Maximus holds 150,000 screaming fans watching chariot races where drivers are celebrities. And crashes, called shipwrecks, often prove fatal. The Colosseum hosts gladiatorial games where men fight to the death for the crowd's pleasure. Condemned criminals are executed in elaborate theatrical productions dressed as mythological figures and torn apart by animals or burned alive. Yet Romans also pack libraries, attend poetry readings, and debate philosophy. They're not monsters. They're humans with a different moral framework, where honor, duty, and spectacle matter more than individual human life. As evening approaches, Marcus makes his way home through streets that grow increasingly dangerous. Rome has no police force, just the vigils, who fight fires and occasionally break up brawls, but they're overwhelmed and often corrupt.
Wealthy men travel with armed guards. Everyone else relies on luck and walks fast.
Muggings are common. Bodies are found in alleys at dawn, stripped of everything valuable. Dinner in Marcus's family is simple. Bread, olive oil, some vegetables, maybe a bit of fish if his wife found a good deal. They eat with their fingers, reclining on cushions if they're fortunate enough to own them. His children have survived infancy itself a victory, as 1 in 3 Roman children dies before age 10. Disease is everywhere. Lead poisoning from pipes and cookware, tuberculosis, malaria, smallpox. Medicine is primitive, often more harmful than helpful. After dinner, his wife spins wool by lamplight. His oldest son practices writing on a wax tablet. Marcus has scraped together enough money for basic tutoring, hoping his boy might rise to become a scribe or accountant. Education is the only ladder out of poverty, though it's a ladder most can never grasp. Meanwhile, Senator Gaius reclines at an elaborate dinner party. 7 courses, roasted peacock, oysters from Britannia, pastries shaped like breasts. Wine flows freely, good wine, not the vinegar the poor drink. Entertainment includes musicians, dancers, and acrobats. Conversation turns to literature, to politics conducted in careful euphemisms, to gossip about who's in favor at court. But even in his luxury, Gaius knows the truth. Rome is magnificent because it's brutal. Those aqueducts, built by slaves, those temples, financed by plundering conquered peoples, it's a grain that keeps the masses from rioting, extracted as tribute from Egypt and Africa. The empire runs on conquest, slavery, and the systematic exploitation of millions. As night falls completely over Rome, the city becomes a patchwork of light and shadow. Torches flicker in wealthy neighborhoods, the poor huddle in darkness, unable to afford oil for lamps. Guard dogs bark. A drunk stumbles home singing. Somewhere a baby cries. This is Ramnad, the marble paradise of imagination, but a living, breathing complex civilization where architectural marvels rise above open sewers, where unprecedented legal systems coexist with absolute tyranny, and where millions of ordinary people like Marcus simply tried to survive another day in history's greatest empire.